your lordships has to constitutionally consider. So a faction, which is the legislative party, decides that I will change the whip. Constitutionally impermissible. Then, my lords, the decision, then was Eknath Shinde, along with certain other delinquent MLAs, did not attend the meeting. Party resolved in the said meeting to remove Eknath Shinde from the position of leader of Shiv Sena and appoint Shri Ajay Chaudhary instead. The decision to remove Eknath Shinde was communicated by Uddhav Thackeray to the Honorable Deputy Speaker. After due verification, the Deputy Speaker accepted the change of leadership of Shiv Sena in the House. The reason why this happened was, because, as your Lordship knows, he had to be a member of the Legislative Council because there was no seat in the Assembly. So the then Chief Minister became a member of the Legislative Council. Therefore, in the meantime, somebody had to be appointed, as the leader of the House, because they were the treasury benches. So Eknath Shinde was the leader of the House. And he was removed from his position of leadership by decision of the party. And the Deputy Speaker was told about it and he accepted it. In the larger interest of the party, it was thought fit to call for another legislative party meeting to give one more opportunity to the MLAs who were absent in the meeting on 21st June to show their loyalty and support to the original political party. Hence, another meeting of the SSLP was called. Individual notices were issued to all the MLAs of the Shiv Sena, and it was made adequately clear that, quote, failure to participate in the meeting without providing valid and adequate reasons in writing, communicated in advance to the underside, will result in consequential action against you under the relevant provisions of the Constitution. So they were told. On 22nd of June, despite the importance of the meeting called on 22nd June, aimed at consolidating the SSLP's strength to contain any possible horse trading, several dissident MLAs did not attend the meeting. Instead, the delinquent MLAs sitting in BJP-ruled states sent communications rejecting the holding of the meeting as illegal, which itself shows that those MLAs had been working contrary to the diktats of the original political party. 22nd of June, Sunil Prabhu, in the capacity of Chief Whip, responded to the communication dated 22nd of June of the delinquent MLAs rejecting the reasons given for their absence from the SSLP meeting as an afterthought, frivolous, backdated, and proof of them acting contrary to the interests of the original political party. That's the notice that your lordships read, 21st of June, dated 21st of June, received on 22nd of June at 11:30 a.m., but dated 21st June. Eknath Shinde wrote to the Deputy Speaker communicating his appointment as leader. So now, the legislative party or a majority of the legislative party can decide who they're going to be the leader of the party in the House, of the party, sitting in Assam. On 22nd of June, simultaneously, a purported notice for removal of Deputy Speaker Narhari Zirwal under Rule 11 of the Maharashtra Assembly Rules, read with 179, was received at the Legislature Secretariat, expressing no confidence in the Deputy Speaker. Notice was hand-delivered by an unknown courier and not by any MLA. It is also relevant to note that none of the purported signatories of the notice had personally delivered any such notice, nor it was sent through the registered email address of any of them. The Shiv Sena Legislative Party in its meeting took note of Shri Eknath Shinde and rebel MLAs and the fact that they had indulged in anti-party activities and were trying to destabilize the MBA government. In view of this, it was resolved that the Shiv Sena Legislative Party meeting at the then CM's residence, that necessary legal action shall be taken under the 10th schedule against the errant MLAs. Now, who is CM? CM is a member of the Legislative Council. He is also the Param Pramukh, Paksh Pramukh. So he is the political leader. He is the one who decides. On 23rd of June, Sir Sunil Prabhu filed disqualification petitions under Para 21A, seeking disqualification of Eknath Shinde and 15 other delinquent MLAs of Shiv Sena. 24th of June, it was widely published in the news reports that the rebel MLAs led by Eknath Shinde were acting in collusion with BJP, and their entire logistical arrangement in Guwahati was made by the BJP leaders. 24th of June, Secretary of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly received an email from an advocate named Vishal Acharya attaching notice for removal of the Speaker dated 21st of June. On the same day, the Secretary of the Assembly communicated the decision of the Deputy Speaker to the email of Vishal Acharya, refusing to take on record the communication dated 22nd of June until the genuineness and veracity of any such communication and its signatories was ascertained. 25th of June, one of the dissident MLAs, Deepak Kesarkar, in a live interview declared that the dissident MLAs had formed a new group and named it Shivsena Balasaheb, and had also announced that they will have a separate leader whip, office, and everything else, just like a party has. 25th of June, Honorable Speaker, after due verification, was pleased to issue notices to the delinquent MLAs under Rule 6 of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly Disqualification on Ground of Defection Rules 86, read with the 10th schedule of the Constitution, asking the delinquent MLAs to file their replies by 5:30 on the 27th of June, 2022. On 25th of June, the National Executive Meeting of the Shiv Sena was held. The said meeting was attended by over 163 representatives of the National Executive, and the leadership of Uddhav Thackeray as the President of Shiv Sena was unanimously and equivocally accepted by the National Executive. 25th of June, Sunil Prabhu filed an additional affidavit in the disqualification proceedings inter alia, containing the media reports that showed the hobnobbing of the delinquent MLAs with BJP leaders. 25th of June, Sunil Prabhu filed disqualification petitions against 2 independent MLAs and 1 MLA belonging to the Prahar Jan Shakti Party. The petition against the independent MLAs were filed on the ground that they gave up their independent status by taking part in the resolution dated 21st of June, passed by the rebel MLAs, and signing the said resolution on the letterhead of SSLP. Also, the ground taken against PJP MLA was that the said MLA voluntarily gave up membership of his original political party by taking part in the said resolution dated 21st June and by signing the same on the SSLP letterhead. 27 June, issuance of the notice of 25th June by the Honorable Deputy Speaker came to be challenged by the 16 MLAs, including Shri Eknath Shinde, who filed a writ petition under 32. The said court, the Honorable Court, by the interim order dated so-and-so, in writ petition so-and-so, was pleased to, in the interim, direct this. Thus, meanwhile, as an interim measure, the time granted by the Deputy Speaker of the Assembly to the petitioners or other similarly placed members of the legislative party to submit their written submissions up to today today 5:30 p.m. is extended till 12/7. Well, just kindly note the language here as an interim measure. They have not filed a reply till date. We are now in February 2023. They have not filed a reply. Now, Malaj, prior to this, prior to the passing of this judicial order, Malaj, all that happened was happening outside of Bombay, outside of Maharashtra, in a state in the northeast. And by whom? By these members of the Legislative Assembly, that's all. There was no party in sight. There was no meeting of any party. Nobody called for a meeting of the party. And these are undisputed facts, Malaj. These are not disputed facts. Can the 10th schedule countenance a situation where, because of whatever reasons, Malaj, we don't want to go into it, a majority or even a minority of MLAs are just, Malaj, let's forget the majority, Malaj. Supposing a minority, you don't sometimes need the majority to topple a government. You'd only need a minority. Supposing it's a minority, Malaj, and the minority outside the state of Maharashtra says, I have formed. I am the political party. And then a judicial order is passed, Malaj, on a disqualification petition that no. If a petition is filed, you can file your reply after 10, 15 days. In the meantime, the minority gets in touch with the other party, topples the government, a new chief minister is appointed. Can you ever imagine that the 10th schedule would allow that? Can it ever be countenanced? This is harakiri. This is legislative harakiri, political harakiri. And you can't interpret the 10th schedule, in this particular fashion to allow an elected government to fall. That's why I said it is judicial orders of this court that resulted in this. Then, 27th of June, as several other members of the SSLP had also openly indulged in anti-party activity. Now, can anybody say, that this is not anti-party or this is not giving up membership of the party? One of you sitting there say that we are forming a new party called Shivsena Balasab, and you are sitting in a state ruled by the opposite, ruled by a party, which was in the opposition. First you go to Gujarat, then you go to Assam. There is no dispute on that. These actions per se amount to giving up membership of the party, apart from the fact that you don't attend the meeting on 21st, 22nd of June. So what is the speaker going to decide? What can he decide, given these facts? Then 28th of June, late in the evening, the leader of opposition in the state of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, went to meet the governor and requested him to hold a floor test after the stay. That's where the role of the governor comes in. On 28th of June, immediately after meeting Devendra Fadnavis and with utmost haste, the governor sent a communication dated 28th of June, though received in the early hours of 29th of June, to the then Chief Minister, directing him to face a floor test in the House on the very next day, 30th of June. It is relevant to note that the Honorable Governor did not even attempt to ascertain from the Chief Minister whether he enjoyed the majority of the House. On 28th of June, the Governor, by way of a separate communication dated 28th of June, which was received in the early hours, directed the latter to forthwith on 30th June to convene the assembly and hold a floor test. 29th of June, Sunil Prabhu filed a writ petition before this honorable court seeking a stay. So, we said, please stay the matter. Please don't allow this to happen. Of the directions of the floor test in view of the fact that the disqualification petition of 42 MLAs under the 10th schedule are pending. By order dated 29th of June, in writ petition so-and-so, this court was pleased to direct as follows. Having given a thoughtful consideration to the rival submissions, we do not find any ground to stay convening of the special session of the Maharashtra Assembly. How? Vidhan Sabha on 30th June, tomorrow at 11 a.m. and with the only agenda of a trust vote. So therefore, you give legitimacy to those against whom disqualification petitions are pending, and such legitimacy that they are able to topple the government by colluding with another party, which is in opposition in that very state. That's the effect of the judicial order. So first, stay the proceeding before the deputy speaker, then allow this collusion and get an elected government toppled. What used to be the misuse of 357 has now been substituted by the misuse of the 10th schedule. 356 was now misuse of the 10th schedule. And the proceeding of the trust vote to be convened on 30th of June shall be subject to the final outcome of the instant petition. That's another interesting thing, brothers. Proceeding of the trust vote shall be subject to the final outcome of the instant petition as well as the writ petitions referred to above. So therefore, every action of the governor resulting in a new government having been formed is subject to your lordship's decision in these petitions. So you cannot give it the color and clothe it with legality, because the judicial order itself says that it's subject to. So you cannot say now the trust vote has happened, now a chief minister has been installed, now a government is in place, now you can't do a thing about it. The special session of Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha shall be conducted in accordance with the directions that contained in the communication dated through 28th of June of the Governor of Maharashtra. Then 29 June, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray resigned. Because he knows the writing was on the wall, having given legitimacy to those who then 30th of June at around 3 p.m., Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis met the governor and staked claim to form the government. This is also anti-party activity. No evidence is required on this. Then 30th of June, the governor, without taking into account the fact that the membership of Eknath Shinde itself was in dispute, here again the question of the governor comes in, in dispute. In the imminent disqualification petition pending against him, swore Shri Eknath Shinde in as the chief minister and Devendra Fadnavis as the deputy chief minister of Maharashtra. The honorable governor thereafter directed Eknath Shinde to prove his majority on the floor of the house. We knew that everybody knows that he would have the majority thus. You can fool the constitution, but not the arithmetic. Then the governor, without taking into account the fact that the members, and I've read that. Then 30th of June, due to their anti-party activities which unquestionably amounted to relinquishing membership of the Shiv Sena political party, Shri Shinde, Tanaji Sawant, Uday Samant, and Gulab Rao Patil were removed from their positions in the organizational setup of the party by the undisputed president of the Shiv Sena, Shri Uddhav. Well, let's just note here, no meeting of any political party took place at the instance of Eknath Shinde. And you will see that tomorrow in the petition before the Election Commission. That alleged meeting, which I'll show is bogus, happened to have taken place on 18th July, after all this was over. And the petition for getting the symbol was filed on the 19th July, on the very next day. Then, Malats, one second. Yeah, I'll take it. Then, Malats, 1st of July, 2022, Shiv Sena Secretary sent a letter to the Election Commission intimating the authority regarding the removal of Eknath Shinde from the positions of Shiv Sena and change in the organizational setup of Shiv Sena thereto. Also, by the separate letter, the Shiv Sena Secretary intimated the ECI regarding the removal of Tanaji Sawant and Uday Samant from the organizational position of Shiv Sena. Similarly, the Shiv Sena Secretary sent another letter to the Election Commission of India intimating the authority regarding the removal of Gulab Rao Patil from the organizational position of Shiv Sena. On 1st of July, an application for directions, IA such and such, was filed by Sunil Prabhu in the present writ petition seeking an interim order suspending the delinquent MLAs against whom disqualification petitions have been filed till the final adjudication of the 10 scheduled proceedings. The said application was mentioned before this court for urgent interim listing, wherein this honorable court directed to list the application along with the writ petition on 11th of July. Then 2nd of July, the Principal Secretary, Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, circulated working order for conducting election to the office of Speaker on 3rd of July. The said agenda showed that the name of Rahul Narvekar was proposed by the BJP MLA and the name of Ranjan Prabhar Salvi was proposed by Shiv Sena. So this Rahul Narvekar was proposed by a BJP MLA because he happened to be a member of the BJP. Then 2nd of July, Sunil Prabhu, acting as Chief Whip, issued a whip. Now, till that day, Sunil Prabhu is still the whip. Acting as Chief Whip of SSLP, issued whip to the members of SSLP regarding the election of the Speaker, scheduled on 3rd of July. All the party members were asked to remain present in the assembly and vote for the Shiv Sena candidate, Rajan Salvi. Sunil Prabhu issued a further whip to the members of SSLP regarding confidence motion scheduled on 4th of July. All the party members were asked to remain present in the assembly until the end of the session and vote against the confidence motion. Well, as your lordships must just keep one thing in mind. It's not their case that they merged with any party. It's their case that they belong to the Shiv Sena. So if they belong to the Shiv Sena, then how can they disobey the whip and vote for a BJP candidate against the Shiv Sena member?